slow pace. So children, try to understand this graph. The 3 stages are shown here: first stage, second stage, and third stage, where you can find the difference between the birth rate and death rate. How the birth rate is increasing, why the birth rate is increasing in the first stage, and how it is falling in the second stage. Then children, let us try to understand world population. So here, what is world population? It refers to the human population. Human population, the total number of human beings living currently in the world, is the world population. And children, here the world population is 1 billion in 1830, and it was doubled by 1930. So within the span of 100 years, within the span of 100 years, the world population has doubled. But when you observe, that is the 5th billion, the child of 5th billion, he was born on 11th July 1987 in Yugoslavia. And because he was born on 11th July, we are calling it as World Population Day, on which the child of 5th billion was born. And do you know, children, India's when 1 billionth baby was born? India's 1 billionth baby was born at 5 a.m. in New Delhi Safdarjung Hospital on May 11th, 2000. And the name of the baby is Asta Arora. And baby was officially declared as India's 1 billionth baby. Here, children, world population milestones. So, according to 2011, according to United Nations, world population reached 7 billion on October 31st, 2011, and present the world population is 7.8 billion. So this estimate was given us by Worldometer of United Nations. So here the current world population is 7.8 billion of July 2020. And what are the projections? So here the Worldometer of United Nations, it has projected the world population by within the 3 years of time, which was 7.8 billion, it will definitely increase to 8 billion. World population is expected to reach 8 billion people in 2023. And by 2037, world population is expected to reach 9 billion. And by 2057, the United Nations projects world population to reach 10 billion in the year 2057. Now, children, let us try to understand the size and growth of Indian population. We all know that India ranks second in the world. And which is the first one? First one is China. Here, and nearly 17.5% of the total population of the world is living in our country. And the total area is 2.4%. And children, when it comes to the population of 1901, it is 23.6 crore in 1901. And 2001, it has increased to 102.86 crore. And in according to 2011 census, our country's population was more than 121 crore. In the present situation, the population of India is expected to grow to 134.5 crore by the year 2021, and by the year 2060, it is expected to grow to 172 crore. Children, do you know India's population is almost equal to the combined population of USA, Indonesia, Brazil, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Japan. So all these countries, the population of all these countries, the number is living in our country. It is equal. When you combine all these countries' population, almost it is India's population. Then the growth of population, children. So here, what is growth of population? Here, population growth rate is rate at which the number of individuals in population is increasing in a given time period. So here, growth of population during the first phase, 1891 and 1921. And here we are going to understand the table. Growth of population in India from 1891 to 2019. The compound annual growth rate. The compound annual growth rate, the total annual growth rate from 1891 to 1921. In the 30 years of time, the growth rate was 0.19 per annum, 0.19% per annum. In the first stage, birth and death rates were more or less equal during this period. When it comes to the second phase, that is from 1921 to 1951, the compound annual growth rate of population was 1.22%, which was considered as a moderate. Children, during the third phase, that is 1951 to 1981, there is a record growth of population, that is by 322 million. It has increased by 322 million in the 30 years. So the compound annual growth rate was doubled, that is 2.14%, which is nearly double the growth rate of previous phase. And the year 1921, children, listen, here 1921 is regarded great dividing year. Why we are calling it as great dividing year? Here in 1921, India's mortality rate started to decline, leading to acceleration in the rate of population growth. Here, rate of growth of population, mortality rate has come down, whereas the rate of population has increasing, it is accelerating. So that's why the year 1921 is regarded as a great dividing year of population. Now children, let us try to understand regarding the birth rate, death rate and infant mortality rates. Children, what is birth rate? Birth rate is a ratio of number of births per thousand population in a year, and death rate is a ratio of number of deaths per thousand population in a year. And children, infant, here, infant mortality rates. Who is called as an infant? Infant is a young child under 1 year of age, and infant mortality rate is number of deaths of infants per thousand live births under 1 year of age. Here, growth rate of population. Growth rate, increase in the population. It is a function of birth rate, death rate, and the level and the direction of migration influence the growth rate of a population. So, but in our Indian context, migration is not a significant factor. It will not have much impact on a growth rate of a population. These are the demographics of India. India growth rate is 1.1%. The present growth rate of India is 1.1%, and the birth rate, you can see the birth rate is 18.2 births per thousand population, and death rate is 7.3 deaths per thousand population, and infant mortality rate is 29.8 deaths per thousand population. And on an average, every Indian life expectancy live on an average, every Indian will live for 69.7 years. See children, in the graph, the census years are given, and here in the graph you can see the red color is the death rate, which is falling almost, and the birth rate slowly has declined from 1971, and infant mortality, which was very higher during 1975, is slowly falling. So infant mortality rate is 29.8 deaths per thousand infants. The